The old-timers say you can stand out here on these vast, endless plains and see 3 days. Today, tomorrow coming, and yesterday going. There is a certain kind of freedom in seeing so far, a freedom that lets you think big. Perhaps it was this very vastness that made the Kit Carson County Commissioners think the way they did back in 1928, that led them to buy Ellich Garden's old merry-go-round for $1,200. But in 1928, the citizens of Kit Carson County thought it was a big mistake. Some years later, the Kit Carson County Carousel is a national landmark and a must-see for carousel enthusiasts from around the world.
Joe, it is really great to be back here, and I brought some photographs that I took in 1973 that I thought, I've never been able to show you what I saw then.
Barbara Charles is a national expert on carousels. She first saw this one 25 years ago when she traveled all over the country searching for carousels and creating the first carousel census. She and Joe Downey, a longtime Kit Carson County Carousel supporter, pore over old photographs and company catalogs and compare notes.
Joe, what I really find fantastic talking with you about the figures on this machine, looking at the catalog, looking at the photographs, is at this time period, these were really carvers who were carving every one individually. They weren't using carving machines. I mean, they look a lot alike, but yet every one is different, and they're really wonderful.
It's like each one of them had their own personal touch. The hippocampus is similar, but it's not the same. Whoever did this one, he did the other one differently, so that no two are alike.
The Philadelphia Toboggan Company, often called PTC, built 74 carousels. Today, less than 30 survive. This one, PTC number 6, the 6th one the company built, is one of the finest American carousels in existence. Although it is a PTC carousel, the design and patterns for the animals came from an earlier carousel company owned by E. Joy Morris, who sold his company to PTC in the early 1900s. That purchase helped PTC emerge as a major player in the carousel business. The Kit Carson County Carousel is significant because it is virtually the same as it was when it was built in 1905. It still has the original paint. You can still see the artist's original pencil markings on the back of this giraffe. It is also the only menagerie and the only stationary carousel made by PTC that still exists. The Philadelphia Toboggan Company's carousels were beautiful, elaborate, artistic, and expensive, the best that money could buy. Everywhere you look, there is something to catch your eye. Nothing is allowed to distract you from the magic. Everything is covered, decorated, and ornate. Even the drive machinery is hidden, covered by oil paintings, the original ones from 1905. Paintings that, like the music, lift you up and away. Look at the detail. The toed animals have dew claws. The hoofed animals have shoes. All the eyes are made of glass, not just painted wood. The antlers on the deer and the horse tails are real. Back in 1905, when this carousel was built, amplified music didn't exist. There were no tapes, no CDs, no big speakers. Music was either live or from mechanical machines. The Wurlitzer Monster Military Band organ, with its 100 instruments and rolls of paper that made music, was a marvel to behold. This is the finest example of the 3 monster band organs left in the world. The men who carved these animals and built these carousels were fine craftsmen and artists. And nearly 100 years later, we can still ride this carousel and appreciate the quality of their work.
This carousel is just a super example of what a community can do to save their own heritage. It's considered a pinnacle of preservation, and every year they add something new. They've worked on the animals, restored those. They've worked on the military band organ, so it just sounds just like it did originally with all its old rolls. The valences have been put in recently, the lights, the paintings even. These are all the original paintings, and they've been carefully touched up. It's just loved by the community, and it shows.
So in 1976, when Colorado was 100 years old,
every year in the spring, the carousel volunteers make certain that the torch is carried on, that a new generation learns about the carousel and the story of the county commissioners who made a good decision 70 years ago, but weren't appreciated at the time.
In 1928, Ellich's wanted a new one. They wanted one that went up and down, so they sold this one to Carson County for $1,200.
And that was a tremendous amount of money to be spent in those days. $1 those days looked as big as a house. And 2 of the commissioners, the way I understand it, lost their seats when they were up for election the next time, and the 3rd person decided not to run. So the people kind of got back at them that way.
But the carousel surprised them all. At a nickel a ride, it paid for itself in just a couple of years. The 1999 Kit Carson County Fair. A sort of life Olympics of the plains. Blue ribbons for the best of everything. Jams and jellies, pickles and peppers, quilts and steers. A day when you can feel the past whisper in your ear. A day to breathe a silent thank you to county commissioners and civic-minded people as you ride round and round on the magic of the carousel.